The other day I was looking up GameStop trade-in values, and honestly it shocked me what they were giving on some things. So in this video we're going to talk about some trade values, what they're offering, what they're selling those things for, and whether or not it's worth going to GameStop and trading stuff in. Now, I will say the things that shocked me were the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S. So I've got my computer. Let's go ahead and check those out, and then we will move on to other things. So first off, let's head over to the trade page, which is pretty basic. It tells you how to do the trades, and then you can select between cards, which is weird, and I don't know why they do that now. Smartphones, tablets, wearables. I'm going to start off with consoles, and we'll work our way to some of those other categories. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is the digital Xbox Series S, which is, if you didn't know, the consoles are digital, all digital. So this one doesn't have a physical version, but with the Pro value, you can get up to $192, which I thought was pretty good, because if you try to get the Xbox Series S from GameStop, you're not going to spend much more than that, to be honest. Buying it used, obviously, but looking it up here, it looks like if you buy it used, it's selling refurbished for $265 if you're a pro, so it's only $75-ish off, which is actually pretty impressive to me. Now, if you do get it pre-owned, it's the same price, or if you get it new, it's $300. Obviously, the prices change if you have a pro membership or if you're just a regular customer, so keep that in mind. But I'm going to go in looking that you are a pro member, because that's a really cheap, like $20, which will save you a bunch of money. If you regularly go into GameStop, I suggest you get that. Now, it's not as great as it used to be, or the Elite membership, but I digress. Let's go ahead and check out the PlayStation 5, because we saw that on here as well. Now, I believe I looked at the physical one, which is the one with the disc. So let's go PS5 Slim console, and we'll see how much it costs. It looks like they will trade you for store credit, $357, or cash, which is always less, $250. But if you're trading in a PS5, you might as well trade it in for games, because it's an extra $100 in value that you would get if you did get the trade credit over the cash. So keep that in mind when we're talking about all this. Probably the store credit is going to be better. And here we go. I selected the wrong one. Hold on just a second. This website loads a little slow, so keep that in mind if you're watching this. Don't blame me. It's not my computer. It's their website. It sucks. So you could get $357, or if you bought it refurbished or used, you're looking at $446. So again, $85 to $90 in difference, which doesn't seem like that much. So on these consoles that we're talking about, these are the two that caught my eye. Honestly, it's not that bad. Yeah, you could sell it yourself and make more money, but if you are going to trade in, I feel like this is not a bad deal for those consoles. However, let's go ahead and move on. The Steam Deck is calling my eye because I want to see what they say. I'm just going to go ahead and say the cheapest one, which is the 64 gig LCD. I'm going to say it's in good condition, or very good condition. Oh, $122 or $85 in credit. This one might not be a good one. So let's see how much the 64 gig is. Okay, so it looks like you can't get it right off the bat. You have to like go into it, which is fine. But for the 64 gig one, it looks like you're going to get it for $265. So it is more than double of what they are offering, so don't trade in your Steam Deck if you have one. It's not the place to go for that. Let's go ahead and move on to controllers. I'm interested to see what value they're giving for some of these controllers. Like the Pro controller for the Switch is only $22, which feels like it's probably a little cheap, because I feel like that controller is a lot more than that. Especially if you buy it brand new, it's like $70. So $22 It's not bad, but let's see what they're selling for. It seems to be double, which kind of doesn't surprise me. 47. That is only what, 25 bucks more, so I'm okay with that, actually. I feel like with GameStop being a business and all that, they've got to pay their employees, their overhead, their rent, all that stuff. I feel like 25 bucks isn't bad. I'm not gonna do it, per se. I'd probably sell it myself, but if you're in a pinch or a bind, that's not that bad. These PS5 DualSense, I'm gonna go with one of these weirder colors because they are more expensive. Obviously, the black or the white ones are gonna be the cheapest ones you can find, but if you get like a purple one, I'm interested to see that value that they're offering, because 44 bucks is kind of up there for the price. I feel like for store credit, that's not that bad. So if the website will ever load, I guess it's still only like 20 bucks, so I'm not disappointed by this price, but okay. However, I will say, if you're gonna do this, you might as well just spend the extra 9 bucks to get a brand new controller. At that point, for $8.50, you're not really off that much, but the DualSense for 44 is probably pretty good. I wonder if I should start looking for these at like pawn shops for under like 20 or 30 bucks. If I can find them for cheap, it might be worth trading into GameStop for. But we're going to check out some video games, and we will end with those retro games. I know you're eyeing it. I am too. I'm excited to see kind of some of those prices. Ooh. Okay, so I see something right off the bat. I know this game is expensive, or it's getting expensive, I should say, but $49.50 for this is kind of a lot to me. I'm shocked that that's how much they're giving, but let's see how much they're selling it for, because if they're giving $49.50, they gotta be selling this for like 80 bucks, right? Okay. Actually, this isn't that bad, and it looks like they're running a sale too, so for it used, or, oh yeah, it's pre-owned. Okay, 75 bucks. They're offering 50. 75 is only 25, so I'm not too upset with that. It's like a 30% markup, which is pretty normal for things in general. So I feel like that's actually not a bad deal, but I want to keep looking. I want to see if we can find some other games that are worth it, worth trading in. Now, like I said, obviously, if you're going to sell these yourself, you're going to make more money. But 50 bucks for that game, especially if you have it just the cartridge, you can take it into GameStop and they're not going to care if the cartridge is in the box or not. So that might not be a bad deal, actually. What else we got here? A bunch of Switch games. We're not going to look at Wii games yet. But I am seeing some games that I'm interested in. Okay, so let's do this. Modern Warfare 3 came out recently. They're offering $33, which these games drop like crazy after they come out. After like 3 to 6 months, those prices just plummet. So I'm interested to see. This is for the Xbox Series X and the One. So for 33 bucks, it's not that bad. Let's see what they're doing. 56? Okay, so that is like $22, which seems like most of these games are trying to get only 20 bucks extra, which is pretty good. And I feel like overall, the more expensive games obviously are going to be more expensive, but also at the same time, I look at something like this and for $13 more, you can just buy it brand new. So it is what it is, but let's find one more before we go to those retro games, because we know there's going to be some good ones there. But, oh, okay, let's look up Stellar Blade. This just came out on the PS5, and I'm definitely interested to see what they're going to offer for this. $38.50 is not too bad. It's almost 40 bucks, especially if you played the game and beat it and you don't plan on playing it again. I mean, that's not too bad, but again, 63 bucks for it used, so you're around 25 bucks or so. Yeah, 25 bucks again. It makes sense. I'm not really complaining. That seems to be pretty spot on, but we've got to go one more place, and that is those retro games. They've been calling us from the very beginning, and if this will load, we'll check it out. Let's see if we can find some good games that are crazy prices, because I know some are going to be. Like, I think Wii Sports is probably not bad. Probably not bad on Wind Waker. Mario Party 6 probably is bad. I'm not a big fan of these loose disc games because you know you're just gonna get them loose disc, and the trade-in value is insane that on some of these, like $1.65. Let's see what they're selling that for. It can't be more than like $5 or $10, right? I'm looking for one of those. Ooh, all right. I think we've got a bunch here we can look up. Let's see if we can find maybe one more. This is definitely well worth it, and then we'll go through all of those. I want to find one that's either really expensive, that they're giving a lot of trade value, or one that's just $1 or something. But, oh, this Deadpool one's probably a good one. Let's use that. Okay, I've got Wii Sports here. $11 is what they're offering. I bet this is a $25 game is what I would expect them to be selling this for. Maybe a little bit more. It is GameStop. $28. So, I mean, 11 to 28 is like $16. It's really $17, but there's some change. So, $17, and you're probably getting this loose disc. So, unless you found it loose disc for really cheap, I probably wouldn't trade it in. I'm going to say the same thing with Zelda Wind Waker. I just know it. They're going to say, hey, this is way more than it's worth. You're only getting $20 if you do trade it into GameStop. So if you were to buy it from them, oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. But I understand why it's so expensive. Now, this is definitely going to be loose disc. They don't even have a picture of the box art. $30 more, basically. $33 and some change, probably. So maybe shy away from the more expensive games if you are going to trade in to GameStop. Or if you're going to buy games from GameStop, maybe shy away from the expensive ones, because I think that's where they're going to charge you more on the buying aspect and offer less on the trade-in value. $17.60, sorry. And it's selling for $30 more. Again, retro games are harder to find, are more sought after. Kind of makes sense. Let's see what this Black Ops 2 is doing. Let's see what it's doing, because they were only offering you $1.65, which is basically nothing. You might as well keep the game at that price. Oh! Okay, so I did say $5 to $10. $9, not a terrible markup. I mean, the percentage is pretty crazy if you look at it that way. It's like they paid like 16% of what their final value is, but it's probably a game that's sitting on the shelves for a long time and isn't sought after. But you know what is sought after? Twilight Princess on the GameCube. They're offering you $33, which is basically nothing. And I'm sure this game is $100 plus. Let's go ahead and see what they're selling it for. All right. Oh, actually, $80. What were they offering? They're giving you $30. That's $50 for a markup. But it is one of those games that's worth a lot of money. If you got this complete, it would be amazing. However, you're probably not going to. So, I'm not a big fan there. And last but not least is Deadpool. This game is shot up in value a little bit. I think it's more expensive on the Xbox 360, but $8 for it. Let's see how much they're offering. My guess is probably like $20, 25 maybe. It's worth around 30 if I remember correctly. So maybe it's worth more on the Xbox. Okay, I might have been wrong on that one. Okay, I mean, $8 turned into 26. Not a bad deal here. Honestly, I feel like that's probably an acceptable markup. But what do you think? Would you actually take your games to GameStop and trade it in with these prices? Now, obviously, sometimes they run some good deals, and I have specifically traded into GameStop before, but I usually know my prices. So what do you think? Would you trade in, or would you hold on to games or try to sell them yourself? Let me know and comment down below. But I will say GameStop can be good if you pay attention to the prices. Sometimes they don't update their prices or their stuff as regular. So you might find a game that's cheaper on their website than it's actually worth. Or you might see them giving you more trade credit or cash than a game's worth if the value of the game tanks or something like that. So kind of be watching if you like going to GameStop, I guess. But I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already. And overall, I feel like if you are going to trade into GameStop, make sure you know your value. Make sure you know what the stuff's worth, because then you won't be afraid if you're getting screwed over or not. Use their website, check it out, use price charting, use sold listing on eBay, and see if it's worth it for you. If it is, good for you. If not, no worries, sell it yourself. You'll make more money anyways. But I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.